Gentlemen, you get one chance to make her want to sleep with you, and that chance is over in like 2 seconds. So listen up. If you get this wrong, she will not ever want to sleep with you. Because once a woman decides that you are in the no zone, it is very hard. It's like the Bermuda Triangle in there. It is so hard to get out. And the fastest way to get into the no zone is by being creepy. Dun, dun, dun. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how to never get labeled as a creep while you're still able to hit on women, get laid, and have an amazing sex and dating life. In this video, we're gonna talk about the root of all creepiness. We're gonna talk about how to read both verbal and nonverbal cues that women are giving so that you know whether to pump the brakes or slam on the gas. And I'm going to tell you the 3 most important things for you to keep in mind in order to not be creepy when you're trying to pick up women. Because look, women know right away if we're willing to have sex with somebody. Like seriously, within the first 30 seconds. And once our mind is made up, it's usually made up for the long run. Hello, I am Caitlin B, a sex and relationship coach, and I specialize in helping people to get laid and have amazing sex while remaining authentic to themselves. You can find me here on YouTube as well as on Instagram and on TikTok. And I happen to be a woman, so I have some experience with being seduced, especially being hit on by gentlemen. And I can speak for women here when I say that we want to have sex. And if you mess it up, because the way that you let her know that you also want to have sex is creepy instead of a non-creepy way, then you will blow your chance. Even if she was a full yes to jumping on your D later, if you mess it up by being creepy, she's gonna shoot you down faster than a bottle rocket flying through your neighborhood on the 4th of July. Most guys are not creeps, or at least they're not trying to be. But when you are trying to follow a formula or maybe like do what these male pickup artists and YouTubers say in order to hit on women, it's going to come off as inauthentic. Women can smell bullshit way faster than you'd even imagine. And when you start getting creepy, women want to run away in the other direction screaming. But because they don't ever actually run in the other direction screaming, you don't actually know that you're being creepy. And that's where I come in. I'm going to show you how you might be inadvertently being a creep, and I'm going to teach you how to stop doing it. So how do we define what creepiness actually is? Well, the root of creepiness is neediness. When you walk up to a woman and in your mind, you're like, I hope she ends up sucking my dick. I'm gonna do everything I can. I wanna say all the right things so that she ends up sucking my dick. We can feel that and is a huge turn off for us. But when you walk up to a woman and you're like, I'm interested in this human being, I'm curious what her situation is, and maybe if she ends up sucking my dick, that would be great. We can feel that too. Not to mention that when you disregard what makes us feel comfortable, we don't feel safe, because chances are good that any woman that you are hitting on or showing any interest in has previously been assaulted or at least sexually harassed by another man. And that is why all of our guards are up when we notice that you want something from us. Another one of the roots of creepiness is disconnection from reality. When you're so disconnected from reality that we can't tell if you're actually being present, if you're being truthful, if you're being honest with us, or if you are just giving us a line in order to get into our pants. That's when you start to get creepy. And this is why it is so important, if you are hitting on a woman, to make sure to read her verbal and nonverbal cues. Because listen, women tell you all the time that they're into you, they're not into you, they want to continue to hang out with you, they're interested in continuing things in a physical way with you, or that they're not. But it doesn't always look like her saying, hey, I'm really getting turned off by you and your thirsty attitude is making me want to run in the other direction, so f off, I'm out of here. You will not hear a woman say that, and for good reason, because if she said that to you, you might get violent. She doesn't know you. You may end up kidnapping her. It's not a good look for anyone. So she smiles and she just kind of slightly turns away from you. If you've ever seen a woman do this, like, haha, yeah, and then slight turn away, or she's looking at you and her eyes start darting around the room, or maybe she's still contributing to the conversation with you, but not very much. She's not asking you any questions. She's just kind of giving you short responses. That is her very, very, very polite way of saying that she's not interested and she wants to get out of there. These are all non-verbal cues that she's telling you that she is not interested. And if you continue to push the conversation, if you continue to not allow her to politely exit the conversation that she's so clearly trying to get away from, you're not going to change her mind and you're not suddenly going to become the guy who she wants to later tonight. Remember that not being creepy is also about the energy that you're putting out there, how you're saying something more than just what you're saying, how you're acting, how you are behaving, how you are being. So typically, if you're playful and you're lighthearted, you're not going to come off as a creep or a predator. She's going to be more interested in hanging out with you, or maybe she walks around and visits with some other friends and then comes back and hangs out with you because, hey, your energy was light and fun and not thirsty. I know this is a little bit tricky for some guys to understand, but trust me, it is very much about how you are being and not just what you are doing. So let's dive into the 3 most important techniques to not be creepy when you are trying to pick up women, whether that's at a bar or online on a dating app. Number 1 out of 3. Be clear about your intentions. It is so vital that you just be upfront. Saying things like, hey, I'd like to take you home eventually. I'd love to connect with you physically. I want to sleep with you eventually. If you're honest about that, you're not going to get friend zoned because she's going to tell you if she feels the same. You're not pretending that you're interested in her until she finally sleeps with you. You're telling her, hey, I'd love to move this in a direction where we end up getting naked. You're also letting her know that if that's not the direction that she wants to go in, then you're gonna exit the conversation and go look for a woman who does want to hit the sheets with you. Basically, this has the added benefit of helping her to feel physically safe around you. Because if she doesn't feel safe around you, she will never be able to let her guard down. And even if she does end up having sex with you, it's not going to be fun for her because she's going to be concerned about her safety the whole time. Again, even if it's consensual. If you convey to her that her safety is your priority and you're clear about your intention, she's going to feel really good around you really quickly. I'm curious, write in the comments what other things you do that help women to feel safe around you. And then I'd love to gather up some of those because I'm sure that you guys have all kinds of great ideas. All right, number 2, and this is really the secret to not being creepy, is be cool with walking away. This keeps your value as a man higher. If you value yourself so much that you would not grovel, beg, borrow, and steal in order to get laid, you are going to be a more attractive man who is more likely to get laid. This shows that you do not need validation from others in order to know your self-worth. Her opinion of you does not matter more than your opinion of yourself. This also demonstrates that you are not going to be pushy or try to force an outcome. When you are talking to a woman and you let her know what your interests are, and she lets you know that she's not interested, and you are willing to walk away, guess what? You've put so much less pressure on that situation itself that you actually are going to seem more appealing. You are always going to be interested in the one that doesn't need you, shows a little bit of interest, but is willing to walk away, versus the one that's showing a ton of interest all of the time. This attitude is the antithesis to creepy because you're not obsessed with a certain outcome. You're cool with anything. You go with the flow. And finally, number 3, ask her questions and be genuinely curious about her. This is the secret to keeping a non-creepy conversation flowing. It is the spirit of receptiveness and listening. When you are genuinely interested in the person in front of you as a human being, not just a bag of flesh with tits and ass, but as a person who has interests, who has goals, who has dreams, who has a history, who knows interesting things that you don't know, and you are curious to learn what some of those things are, we can feel that. Versus the guy that comes up and goes, what do I need to say to this chick in order to get her to spread her legs? We can feel that as well. You treating us like a human being instead of being super obnoxious and treating us like a bag of flesh, or even worse, being one of those dudes that only talks about himself. He's selling himself to her like a used car salesman trying to get rid of a 92 Accord. Believe it or not, asking questions about her and being curious is actually a great way to show your dominance as a man. A lot of guys don't do this because they think that asking questions is somehow submissive, but this just shows you how messed up our culture's idea of what dominance and submission is. Literally, what a dominant does is give direction and put attention onto the submissive. The submissive partner receives direction and puts attention onto themselves. So the dominant partner is always putting his attention onto the submissive partner. If you are putting your attention onto yourself, guess what? Not only are you being an asshole, you're also being submissive in the conversation, which is a surefire way for her to want to exit a conversation. Also, this allows women to relax because they don't have to guide the conversation. They're not the one in charge of driving the conversation and figuring out where it's going to go next. So there's no magic trick here. There's no secret formula that every pickup artist hides behind a $5,000 class. Show you are interested. Be genuinely interested in her, how she spends her time, what she likes to do. She will feel your genuine interest. You also need to share yourself, because just asking her 20 questions is also going to look creepy, right? It's particularly important that you learn to strike a balance between asking and answering. Oh, and if you're not sure that you have a lot of interesting things that you want to share, and so that makes you feel a little bit insecure when you strike up a conversation with a woman, then it's time for you to become someone who women actually want to sleep with. I know, it sounds amazing, right? You already have everything inside of you that makes you an interesting, attractive man. It's just a matter of knowing how to bring that out. And if you are not sure, then I challenge you to apply for my High Performance Male coaching program, because this program is all about designing yourself and your life and then communicating it to the people who you are in relationship with. It is about having a confident mindset, not just when you talk to women, but also when you talk to your boss, or when you talk to your children, when you talk to your wife. This program is designed so that you not only never feel like a creep again, but know how to be dominant in any conversation, take charge, take control, take the lead, and make women feel amazing, safe, cared for, and like they are able to open up around you. To recap, once a woman makes up her mind about whether or not she's open to sleeping with you, there's pretty much no changing it. And one of the top reasons that women decide not to sleep with a man is because he's acting creepy. That's why it is essential to understand that need is the root of creepiness, that you've got to be keyed into her verbal and nonverbal cues and tell when she is trying to get out of a conversation. Just let her go. Don't be stuck on the outcome. Be clear about your intentions and be genuinely interested and interesting. If you follow these guidelines, you will have so much success with women. Women will feel safer around you, and they are going to want to bed you. I can guarantee it. This has been Caitlin B. Take a minute and make sure that you are subscribed to this channel so that you don't miss any amazing content that will help you live a better life. And I will see you here and on Instagram and on TikTok. Mwah! Bye-bye.